Happy Friday, everyone. Big show today. Loads of news. Mortal Kombat 2 trailer. We've got a Punisher trailer for a special limited show on D+. Plus, The Boys Season 5 dropped 2 episodes. We will discuss it. Lots of news, movie reviews, and Alan, who's here. I can't even, what's going on here?
What's up, Chris? I hear everyone is looking for Alan. Alan.
Oh, yeah, that sounds just like Bugs Bunny.
It sounds just like Bugs Bunny. It's perfect.
The years I watched him as a child, just nailed it.
Yeah, it's perfect. You've seen a lot of movies, haven't you?
I've seen 2 movies.
2 movies. We'll discuss it.
I mean, let's face it, that's the state of the movies these days. There's not a lot out there.
Well, I was disappointed to learn, having you've watched The Boys in the past. You didn't watch it, but I forgive you because you took a bullet for me for Daredevil. So you watched Daredevil season 2, Born Again season 2.
Well, I only saw the first episode,
and I did not watch it. Well, It's fair is fair, but
Yeah.
I did watch the first 2 episodes of The Boys.
By the way, dare I say, most of our chat had dropped out of The Boys.
I was gonna say
you're the only one holding the torch for The Boys.
I love the characters. I love Homelander. I think he's a hero to all the people. I mean, he messes up every once in a while. Who doesn't? He's only human, or at least was before, before he took this.
It's a television show for our time.
Absolutely. So, well, let's see who's here. Let's talk to the people.
Yay.
Let's go.
All right, Lee Kindler. Good morning, Film Threat. What am I seeing this weekend?
I have at least 2 movie recommendations, and you'll be shocked. But we're reviewing like 5 movies. So you'll need to.
And I have a movie recommendation if you happen to be married or have a girlfriend that you really want to make a move on this weekend.
Hey.
All right, Christopher Moonlight Productions. It's Friday. Next article up on Film Threat, and my AI talk in San Antonio went great. I met awesome people, and my name was on the marquee, which is wild. Tagged you in some pics on X. Viva la Indie.
Well, Chris, I'd love if you wrote an article about your talk in San Antonio. That would be amazing. And also, if there's a video and you want to share it, we can, you can post on your YouTube channel, and then we can share to our audience. So that'd be great.
And guess what? You could use AI to write all that.
Sure.
John Smith, take your time brewing the coffee, Chris. We are already into the afternoon here on the East Coast.
Well, I'm on my 2nd cup, so let's see how this goes.
Yes.
And share, you know the thing.
Yeah, lower thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. Hey, people, hit that bell for notifications. I know you haven't done it yet. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch at shop.filmthreat.com.
Yes, I'm wearing. I love this shirt. I've worn this shirt in the wild. I wear a lot of my Film Threat shirts when I go to the movies. Why not? But this is one of my favorites. And we got a thank you, Lord Thoughts. We got a soup here.
Yes, Steven Angliano for $4.99. Morning, love y'all, and the weekly update on the film world. Looking forward to your thoughts on the drama. Yeah, we have a whole video on the drama.
Steve. It's either Steve Nanguiano or Steven Anguiano.
Angiano.
8069. Good choice of numbers.
I'm pretty sure it's Steven Angiano.
We did review the drama last week. We generally review the movies the day after they open, if not earlier. If it's a big film and we have access, we will give you an early review. We did review it, and I think both Alan and I liked it.
Yes,
look up on our. We do clips of every review, so you can look up on our channel the drama review. you'll find it and watch it.
Yes. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel now. Hit that bell for notifications.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Steven. We appreciate you. Okay, let's get into it. Alan, some big trailer drops. Mortal Kombat 2, a final trailer has dropped. We've seen the trailers for this. Interesting that they moved this. It was originally supposed to open in October of last year. And then they moved it to early May. They saw an opening. Maybe there's more interest. Tickets are on sale. I already have my tickets in for the IMAX screening. I've secured tickets. Let's see the new trailer.
There are 8 billion people on this planet. And Mortal Kombat is upon us.
If we lose one more time, the Earth is gone.
Johnny Cage. This is a war to the fate of your world.
I hope your ancestors are watching.
You're right.
Now would be a good time to use those powers, mate.
You wanna know my power? I am Johnny Cage. Oh, whip.
Get over here!
Damn.
Remember, if you fail, the earth fails with you. Uno mas, thanks, Ed. You're right. Sub-Zero. I am reborn.
Mortal Kombat 2, rated R. Get tickets now. Experience it in IMAX. Only theaters May 8th.
I am so in.
Yeah.
I'm so in. First of all, just do the game. The music's accurate. The characters are accurate. They embody the spirit. They build out the lore and the story. I'm in. I mean, I played the game on Sega Genesis, not Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I also played at the arcade. When you play the game on the Genesis, it had the blood. But the SNES version was kind of censored. They ended up putting in some code where you could add the blood. You had to put in a code, but I played these games, loved them, in the 90s.
Yeah. No, that's when I played it. The arcade in the early 90s. And I did not fare well. Those are just not my games. But I swear, when I first saw Mortal Kombat in the arcade, I stood there for like 2 hours just watching it. Couldn't believe that you could do this with a video game. The violence and the photorealism at that point was actually was pretty good.
And the fatalities, all of that, the different fatalities, the different, you could change costumes. It just had all the things you love about a game like that. And it looks accurate. Mm-hmm. It looks very accurate.
Music. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the music is pulled right out. I'm in. That trailer convinced me. I said, I'm going to get tickets. I'm getting tickets.
Yeah. Maybe we should read the chats on these. I think there are a few.
We usually save them to the end.
All right. Just saying,
Remember what we said we said we'd do like.
I understand, but this particular trailer seemed to have a lot of attention.
Let's do it.
And then maybe you want to read the chat.
Go, Alan. Your wish is granted, Alan.
Yeah, all right. Mars Monkey Max, cool music. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was cool.
All right. David Rose, finish him. Kenneth Marchant. So tired of digital filmmaking. Everything is a shoot on green screens nowadays. Yeah, I mean, look, you expect it with this one. You're not going to get photorealistic here. The 1A train, that music makes me feel 14 again. Yeah, it makes me feel 25 again. Press enter to start for 2. Hate to pop your bubble, but Jade isn't accurate.
Well, we don't know what costume variant that is.
Uh-oh.
She gets in a.
And a lot of girl
they
bosses in this
suit
one.
up. Yeah, but it wasn't the game was like that. So there you go. Hey, you like the Punisher, Alan?
Yes. In the comic books, yes.
Well, this is a Marvel it's described as a Marvel television special presentation. So I assume a one-off. It's a Punisher the Punisher one last kill. Let's check out the trailer here. It's gonna be kind of I'll give my thoughts after. I have already seen it, but I want to see what you think about this. It's and of course, let's get some Frank Castle here. Here we go. Ready?
Yes.
Hey, Frank. How you doing, brother? Talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
Think God's gonna forgive us for the things we've done? I'm not sure about me. But you ain't got a fucking chance. That's all you got? That's all you got? That's all you got?
Okay, John Bernthal is involved in this.
Yeah.
This looks R-rated, and I'm getting kind of vibes of like Falling Down with Michael Douglas. That kind of vibe where he's haunted by visions, memories, suddenly snaps. It looks like downtown LA. It looks like someone went to downtown LA and said, I'm tired of this. I'm going to fix it in a violent way. So I haven't been interested in a Disney Plus Marvel series in, I don't know, so long. I want to see this. I really want to see this.
Enough
And
to
it looks-
resubscribe.
Maybe for 1 month. Maybe I'll do a $4.99 deal.
Yeah. Actually, they'll probably send us a screener, so you could avoid that.
Listen, this looks great. I'd tell you if I didn't like it. It looks good. I'm enthusiastic because of John Bernthal's involvement, because it looks R-rated, because he goes full Punisher. We see the skull emblem. It looks really good. I think the reason for doing this is Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm guessing he doesn't get a lot of screen time in that Spider-Man movie. He'll be a character, but not a pivotal one. So this will fill out the backstory for that movie as a set.
Also, Disney has to split profits on Spider-Man Brand New Day. So why not put something out to kind of get the momentum from that? Right, its coattails.
Yes, absolutely.
I think part of me is Marvel's track record and not being a very good one. I think you were right in that because John Bernthal is behind it. I know the guy cares about story. I know the guy cares about the work he does. And I think that's going to say a lot that I think that's going to go to show that this show will probably be better than most Marvel television shows on Disney Plus. So cautiously optimistic on this one.
Well,
I've been burned before.
Well, I'm curious. Is it a movie? It says special presentation. I don't even know what that means.
Well,
it's a one-off.
It's either a movie or a 2-hour episode.
Well, based on what we've seen from series on Disney Plus out of Marvel, which have for the most part not been great.
Yeah,
not been great. This one looks among the best, and I'm excited to see it.
All right.
Something I don't think a lot of people are very excited. The Mandalorian and Grogu has no hype, and I predict it will bomb. Let me present some evidence. I talked about this, a story that dropped from Fandango. They did a poll of about 2,000 people. 5,000 people aged in certain age groups of people who are regular moviegoers. Here are the most anticipated summer 2026 movies. We've got Toy Story 5 at number 1. Number 2, Spider-Man Brand New Day, no surprise. Number 3, The Devil Wears Prada 2. I predict that will be a hit. Number 4, The Odyssey, should be higher. Number 5, Scary Movie 6. I do want to see that. Number 6, Moana, don't care. Number 7, Minions and Monsters, don't care. Number 8, Mortal Kombat 2, which opens in early May, and I already have tickets. For Mortal Kombat 2. Number 9, Supergirl. Okay, that's pretty low for a movie that's, it's not a sequel per se. It's a remake of a movie that's also been a TV series. And number 10 is an Insidious sequel. What's missing, Alan?
Well, the headline here says the Mandalorian and Grogu has no hype and will bomb. Gosh, what's missing?
What's missing?
A Star Wars movie is
the
missing.
Mandalorian and Grogu. It's missing.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Kathleen Kennedy, for ruining Star Wars.
Well, let's take a look at some things I found online regarding the promotion for this. We did see at the Oscars, we saw an awkward comedy skit with Kate Hudson, Baby Grogu, and Pedro Pascal and Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
Stage. It got no laughs, no reaction, no traction online. And there has been promotional materials for this. We saw that Super Bowl trailer that people said, is this AI slop? What is it? We're not going to show it, but check this out. Watch this.
We speaking?
We are rolling.
Welcome, Grogu.
Hey, never touch the buttons.
I hope you don't mind us talking about you while you're here.
I feel like your relationship with Grogu has evolved organically.
It started out very reluctantly and then deeply, deeply bonded.
I love how we took you from being his protector, and now he actually feels kind of like he can handle himself now.
Oh, yeah.
He's not just a cute face.
No.
It's not just the Mandalorian anymore. It's the Mandalorian Grogu.
Long live.
This is so staged. It's the conversation is fake and produced.
The most unnatural conversation.
Let's keep watching.
The Empire.
I play an officer in the New Republic. This isn't about revenge. I need someone I can depend on.
We'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
Not quite sure about this little snack eater.
Because it's IMAX, because it's a movie, I wanted to recapture the feeling of when I first saw Star Wars. And so when we're making this, we were using all the technology that's available. And then, of course, we have a lot of classic stuff.
It was the coolest set I've ever been on.
All of that is to give a whole new audience that same feeling of excitement that I had the first time.
This movie, when you see it, it's like I just got off of a ride.
Do we run Or do we fight?
Are you hyped, Alan?
I'm so whelmed.
Yeah, it's whelming. It's whelming. Yeah, there's almost no hype behind this. Very strange, if you ask me.
Yeah,
I mean, no one's talking about it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just
Go
saying
ahead.
it's all for a TV series that people stopped watching.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know.
Wait, is this
Go ahead.
another behind the scenes clip? Let me see, or did we just watch this?
Action!
Here we go.
To me, Star Wars has always been about creatures. And I think it dates back to when I saw it when I was a kid. It all felt unified in this world, made the world even more compelling.
I mean, we've seen a lot of trailers. Now they're just rolling out BTS behind the scenes stuff.
No, these are these are clips from the original series, the original trilogy.
Yes, but
Yeah,
Jon Favreau, he was up to direct Force Awakens. He pulled his name. He said, "I don't want to do it."
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah, well, good things J.J. Abrams came in to save it. Here, let's keep watching. And I have one more thing to show.
Hey, never touch the buttons.
We really wanted to bring an assortment of droids and creatures to this movie.
Was that Baby Greedo?
Yeah, Baby
You're doing
Greedo.
Baby Greedo? Wait, go back.
There it is.
Baby Greedo
Aw.
in a little. Oh God. We have
See-
Baby Greedo now is going to meet Baby Yoda. Is the baby going to shoot first?
Well, it'll start shooting second for a while, and then it'll grow up and shoot first.
Oh my God, that'd be great if Baby Yoda shot
that was
first.
Or,
Shot
ben,
Baby
or
Greedo.
if, are we in the timeline of Ben Solo? If Ben Solo was a baby,
Who knows? Oh my God, this is just. I made jokes that they would do this, like a baby Chewbacca, right?
oh well, we want a baby. Oh God damn it, I can't remember the guy's name.
All right, then don't say it.
Are you scared? You should be.
I could get a little emotional talking about Grogu. That deep emotional connection exists in the way that the original Star Wars characters existed for me as a kid.
He's slowly coming of age, finding his own power.
I like this kid.
All I see is his little face.
That character you saw there is in the ride at the Star Wars land.
Oh yeah, the Rise of Resistance or something.
Yeah. I care so little about him. I don't know what his name is.
I actually
And don't
like that
care.
ride, and I don't remember him.
Yes, exactly. They're all forgettable names. Like name one character from Starfleet Academy. I rest my case. What was is Genesis a name?
Yeah, Genesis is a name.
And Jaden. I remember the gay Klingon.
Oh yeah.
I call him Gay Klingon.
This kid.
All I see is his little face. You cannot but fall in love with that little face.
We have Grogu, we have Anzellans again.
Good shot, baby.
Yes!
We're embracing a lot of tradition, bringing in all sorts of creative disciplines.
Martin Scorsese does the voice of this character.
In a moment of irony.
Scorsese, pure cinema. Pure cinema.
Good night. Thank you.
You use all of these techniques to ground things, to make you feel like you're in a real place with real characters, even though you've never seen these creatures or these droids before. It all works together, and Star Wars is unique for that.
You know what? I bet the movie could be fun, but nobody
could.
cares.
I know.
Check this out. This is an article written by on Gizmodo from German Lesieur.
Herman Luthier.
German Lesieur.
Herman.
A new Mandalorian and Grogu video has me seriously worried. Do you have notes for this, Alan?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
Right.
go for it. Tell me what's in this story.
Okay, so from the words of Herman Luthier, what made me fall in love with Star Wars wasn't just the creatures, space, battles, or lightsabers. It was the characters in the story that pulled me in and never let go. And that's exactly why I'm worried about Mandalorian and Grogu. With the movie only weeks away, I'm just not feeling the excitement, and I think the marketing is the problem. Don't get me wrong, Jon Favreau is a great choice. He's done incredible work and has a strong track record. On paper, this should be a slam dunk. But somehow, everything I've seen so far tells me almost nothing about what the movie is actually about. There's no clear story, no emotional hook, just vague ideas that it's Star Wars, and that alone doesn't cut it. The latest promotional clip on creatures and visuals, which looks great, but that's expected. That's the bare minimum for this universe. What I want to know is why any of it matters. Where's the story? What's at stake? There are so many compelling threads from the series, like Mandalore needing a leader, the mythosaur, and Grogu's larger significance. But none of that is being highlighted. Instead, I'm getting vibes, action shots, and reminders that it's made for IMAX. When I compare that to how other film tease emotional stakes and character motivations, the difference is obvious. I'm not being given a reason to care about this story yet, and that's a problem. At this point, I'm hoping the marketing ramps up and starts revealing what makes this movie special, because right now I'm genuinely concerned that audiences might walk in expecting something big and leave feeling like they're just watching a longer, more expensive episode of the show. And as a Star Wars fan, I really hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, this is someone who I've followed German's work before. He seems pretty clear-headed. Sometimes could he speaks his mind.
Mm-hmm.
He's speaking for a lot of people. There's no hype behind this movie. And I've heard friends in the industry reach out to me saying they are afraid this is going to bomb. This is Kathleen Kennedy got out at the right time. He got out kind of knowing this is really going to all be on Filoni because now he's in charge. This will bomb worse than Solo. At least Solo was kind of sandwiched in between, like, Last Jedi come out, Solo came out. We're getting ready for Rise of Skywalker. Like, there was still goodwill, but people were disillusioned. This is a TV show that ran its course and probably went on too long. That it had jumped the bantha.
Mm-hmm.
It had jumped the bantha poodoo. And now I think with this coming out, there's just no hype. No one's talking about it. And again, he points out in his story on Gizmodo, what's the story? The thing that gets you hyped is story. I saw the trailer for the drama with Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, and I was so drawn in by the story, and they didn't give away kind of the big reveal of that movie. While a lot of trailers give away everything, that trailer, I was hooked. I'm like, I'm going to see the drama. I'm going to see a Zendaya movie because the story has me intrigued. I need to know what's going to happen. The story in this is he gets a deck of cards and he has to track down some bad guys because Sigourney Weaver, who's from Alien and Aliens, says, hey, you should do this thing. That's it. No bigger story. Nothing that would compel you. And that's what the TV series should have been. Here's your deck of cards, and every week he tracks someone down or gets on the lead of one of the baddies he has to take out. Maybe he finds out one of the baddies is actually a good person. There's some sort of reversal or some. This is a TV series, like, thin plot hung on a movie, and literally no one talking about this. And when we saw earlier, we saw that graphic I brought up where I showed you it's not even in the top 10 movies of what regular moviegoers want to see.
Or anticipating,
yeah, anticipate in the top 10. I predict a huge failure, and not even Baby Greedo can save this film. Final thoughts, Alan, and we're going.
Yeah. So you know what I could do? I could take that article I just read and swap out Mandalorian and Grogu with Avengers Doomsday.
Yes, you actually could.
I mean, it's the same thing. Look, when it comes down to it, Disney needs to fire their marketing team.
Yes,
they don't know what they're doing. They they're under this impression that everything is about feelings and emotions. So I'm just going to show you the feelings, emotions I hope you get when you watch this movie. When really, if we're going to spend $100 to take our friends and family to go see this movie, I want to know that it's worth the $100 I'm about to spend, or whatever amount it is. Even $50 is a lot to spend. That's where people are at in their mind. What value am I going to get by seeing this in theaters, or do I just go ahead and wait for it to show up on streaming, which is a hell of a lot cheaper, and we can have more fun with it. Disney, whoever is running your marketing team, I'm gonna be willing to guess it's run by someone who's non-male, and you just gotta fire them and get a better strategy when it comes to promoting your movies, because you're about to do it again with Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, it's not looking good, Alan. It's not looking good. Let's go to your comments right here, because I know we have a lot on this one.
Yeah.
Let's start from the top. Hey,
Joe Pat for 10. Finally checked out Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. Got some Hot Tub Time Machine vibes and possibly the best sequel to a flick. Wish Canadians would get that irreverent again.
Yeah, well, Canada's kind of lost right now, if you know what's going on there politically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hope you liked it, Joe Pat.
Nick HX, remember, for 5 months, canceled Disney Plus.
Thanks, Nick. HX.
WrestleMania. That's why I'm keeping Disney Plus at the moment. Indie Shade for 5. Stevenson was the last Punisher. Lundgren had the best story, action, and villains. Bernthal was good in Daredevil 2, but the series is awful.
Yeah.
Foolish American for 5. Need send film threat players for my father. He had 2 strokes, but very strong, determined man. Police Academy make him happy.
Oh, well, thanks, Foolish American. Well, look, I'm a stroke survivor. I had a stroke 2 years ago. And then the next year we went to CinemaCon.
Yeah.
So I'm really sorry. Your father. Prayers to him.
Hope he gets better.
Yeah, and movies and especially comedies are a good escape.
Yeah, like Police Academy.
Like Police Academy, a classic.
The one with nudity in it.
Let's go through some of these real quick.
Okay, you buy now. I like that Bernthal is going to is doing more Punisher, but I hope the story is there.
It looks it's a thin story, but it looks decent. It's a special.
But I know John Bernthal cares about these things.
Yeah.
Tim is not funny. We seem to be getting a lot of John Bernthal's Punisher these days. Still no Mahershala Ali Blade, though. I think that's done.
Yeah, I don't think Blade's going to happen.
Geek Truth 64. The first season Punisher was great. Have no faith in Disney Plus to do anything good anymore, and possibly, and definitely not to handle PTSD.
Yeah.
Tim is not funny. I think Mando could be a Zootopia level hit. Walk up families with young kids who want their kids into Star Wars. My boys love Grogu and Young Jedi Adventures on D+.
Well, I will stand corrected.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Brock Samsonite, remember the Razor Crest? Remember you guys?
Yeah.
Bill S. Preston Esquire. Kathleen Kennedy turned gold into poop. Dave Filoni turns gold into wacky feminism.
Yeah, I have no faith in him whatsoever.
Yeah.
The guy is good at the cartoons, and not even good. I didn't like the cartoons he made. I didn't like Rebels. I know there are good episodes of Clone Wars, but Lucas was involved then.
Yeah, Lucas was the gatekeeper.
I liked Clone Wars by Genndy Tartakovsky.
By the way, we didn't read that chat, so.
Oh, we didn't? No. Oh, well, I missed. Well, you saw it on screen.
Okay.
Saw it on screen. Hey, a few more news stories, and then we are getting to our reviews. Boy, we have a lot today. The show might be longer than I thought. Sorry, Alan.
No problem.
We always say it's going to be a short show today.
I know. It's just going to be a regular show.
Here we go. The future of Avatar. What is the future of Avatar? Alan, you have the story.
Yes. James Cameron says the future of Avatar franchise is not locked in, even after Avatar Fire and Ash made $1.4 billion. Despite earlier plans for 5 films, he admits a decision on continuing hasn't been finalized. Several factors have contributed to Fire and Ash falling short of expectations. Critics noted weaker reviews, repetitive marketing compared to The Way of Water, a shorter promotional window, and a lengthy runtime that made theatrical viewings more demanding. Additionally, the film lacked the extensive merchandising and cultural saturation typically associated with major Disney releases, limited to overall impact. At the same time, broader uncertainty at Disney is affecting multiple franchises. Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar are all being reevaluated, and even billion-dollar hits no longer guarantee sequels. This climate has led to a question about whether Avatar will continue expanding, including doubts that the planned theme park in California could potentially be replaced by a Zootopia-themed attraction. Avatar is hugely profitable, but no longer untouchable. Cameron appears determined to finish the saga, yet Disney has been far more cautious about moving forward.
Look, I think the reason I really think the second and third Avatar movie really didn't do much to move the story forward. There's a really interesting story about the future of humanity. Can humans survive beyond Earth? If Earth is dying, do they relocate to another planet, to Pandora, and somehow gain the ability to breathe and survive in the environment? Can the native Na'vi people have some kind of truce with the Earthlings who are being resettled in a new land? Maybe they take Jake Sully back to Earth as like a prize that's won. There's so much they could have done if James Cameron thought of the epic scope of the movie and humanity, but he really made Swiss Family Avatar, Swiss Family Robinson in space, and made it a family drama mainly to appeal to kids. So I really didn't like that last movie. I enjoyed Avatar 2, Way of Water, but really the story is not there. He didn't really take it to a risky place. I was expecting more. I really don't care. And if he's going to make 4 and 5, you have to have you got to take some big swings to keep it interesting. And then Jake Sully is like this connection because he embodies a former Earthling. And he is a Na'vi. There's so much interesting story material there, and he blew it. I think he blew it by really not leaning in, by basically making part 3 a rehash of part 2. So I don't care. If he does 4 and 5, you got to take some big swings and really, have some big sci-fi concepts. What are your thoughts, Alan?
Yeah, I'm going to say what's not being said. You and I both saw the third one. The third one wrapped things up. The third one, you can end on the third one, and that's the trilogy of Avatar.
Not really. There were other hanging conflicts.
Right? but there weren't questions that you needed answered, or storylines that needed to be. There was no cliffhanger for one thing. There's nothing in Avatar 3 that says, "Oh, I need to know what happens next." They lived happily ever after for the most part. They figured out a way for humans to survive on Avatar land, on the planet. And then, you basically dispatch with the bad guys, the main bad guys. And so, look, I think if I were to guess, this is a self-fulfilling prophecy for James Cameron, just by saying, look, I ended as neatly as I could. So whether I make more or not, it doesn't matter. It could end here, but to your point, if that's true, well, what do I need to know? I'm not. You mentioned some interesting story ideas, but do I really need to explore that? Is that compelling enough to make another $1.5 billion? So I think it's a great time to just kind of end it here and move on. Honestly, it felt like that Avatar 3 was to justify all the money spent on Avatar 2, so they could just reuse all that stuff,
right?
Try to make some money back for that massive investment they made in special effects.
Well,
in the second movie.
You amortize the costs over 2 movies,
right?
What justifies it. The only way there'll be a future for Avatar is money. It really is. I mean, the movies are kind of non-controversial. They're family oriented, and I can see them making 4 and 5, and we're gonna see them in 2029 and 2035.
It's this is the test of Josh tomorrow, of whether he does things for the money or does things for the art.
Hey, we've got a lot more news stories, so we're going to do them, and I apologize in advance. We have a lot of news stories. Next week, we're at CinemaCon all week. We have a preview for that. We're going to give it to you. But we've got some of these news stories are important. I don't want to get to them. So we will review The Boys. Give us like 10, 15 minutes. We're going to get to our reviews. I'm apologizing to the audience just because next week we're in Vegas all week.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be
more of us, but for a shorter period of time.
Yes. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, BAFTA. They're apologizing for the N-word incident again. From the wrap, BAFTA board apologizes, sets 3-step plan to ensure Sinner's N-word incident doesn't happen again. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again. Alan, give it to me. What's in the story?
I don't see the story here.
You don't see the story?
Well, I'm pulling up the BAFTA apology. If I can find it. The story just dropped earlier, and I was told we weren't going to cover it, so I didn't. I kind of abandoned the research on it. Yeah, do something else right now, so I can find it. There's a full statement.
We're waiting, Alan.
Oh, okay.
This is what. So I see news stories in here. Not all of these are in the. So
okay. So here's the thing. I mentioned we should do this, and I was told, "Oh, not again." And so I was under the assumption we weren't going to cover it then. So I abandoned all the research.
But you should not assume. What you should do is, are we going to do this story? And when
what was responded to me was hell no. Okay. So I took that as no, we're not going to do the story.
God, now I know how Ryan feels with Drunk 3PO on Geeks and Gamers. This is what you get with the live show. You get to see all of our mistakes.
Yeah, look, I had it all up, and then it was like, oh, we're not going to cover it, and then now I got to find it.
Read the notes, says Lori.
Read the
notes. Texting. I don't see it in the notes. In the private chat.
I don't see it in the notes.
Should I read her text to me? In chat, the statement is in the article.
Okay, no, I was looking at story highlights, which is usually Lori, where I read these things.
Off camera, Lori, go off camera and come on.
No, I got it.
Turn your camera off. Lori, turn your camera off. Okay, Lori, explain to Alan.
Alan, I don't have notes for this in the normal notes section, but this story, if you scroll up, scroll up, the statement's at the bottom.
Okay. No, so that's what I'm saying.
Chris, whoever has this up right now,
I was looking at these story highlights where there always are. You even got the WGA
links are
deal
in the thing.
In the story highlights. All right.
Scroll. I fucking hate when this happens.
Scroll the story up.
Puts me in a fucking.
I'm just
read.
saying when I
can't do the rest
mentioned
of the show.
Okay, look, I mentioned, hey, here's a story we might want to cover. I was told we were not going to cover it, and so
By
therefore
who?
I was
Who
not
said that?
prepared for it.
I did, but
Okay, why is it still in there? It's in the banners. I assume I'm doing it unless it's. You got to cut things. Don't have it in the planning document unless we're doing it.
well, Alan seemed very excited about it, so I just kept it in there. But the notes are not needed because if you scroll up,
I seemed excited about it, but
Before
then
the
you shot me
show-
down. You shot the story down, and so I assumed the story
Before
was
the
shot
show,
down.
rather than talking about, I'm going to Disneyland, let's do this. Hey, do you like?
Hold on,
I'm eating
hold on.
beans
Yeah,
for breakfast.
Look, what are we arguing about? We're arguing about a story that we were going to talk about. We weren't talking about Disneyland.
What I'm
We weren't talking
saying
about
is,
food. We were
before
talking
the
about
show,
whether we should do
discuss
this
it.
article or not during the show. That's called show prep, which was what we were doing. If we were arguing about what is better, Epcot or Disney Hollywood Studios, you would have a point here. But we were arguing about an actual news item we could have possibly talked about on the show. Epcot, yeah.
Okay. Do we want to start this over, chat?
but you
Should we
can just
start this
scroll and read.
Okay, I have it in front of me right now.
Okay.
over? All right. Hey, Alan. You saw the movie, I swear. I also saw it recently.
I saw it on
We will
Monday,
be-
for crying out loud.
We will be Look, I've only had one cup of coffee. Okay. You got to be.
I know the one time we actually argue about show prep is the time you say you guys are always talking about things not about
we
show
have
prep.
fun on this. We have fun. I love Alan. I love Lori. We have fun. We just need to communicate.
No, all someone had to do is say, hey, that's a good idea. We should run with that story.
Just don't put it in the doc if it's not. All right. Here we go. Hey, Alan, BAFTA is apologizing again for the N word. We saw that whole thing play out at the BAFTAs. We watched the clips. They released a new statement and the BAFTA board apologizes. They set 3-step plan to ensure Sinner's N-word incident doesn't happen again. What is their statement? It's in the story, Alan.
Yes, it is. All right. So from the BAFTA board, they say, following the incident at the 79th BAFTA Academy Film Awards, the BAFTA board commissioned an independent review by Rise Associates to examine what happened and what must change. The review, which is now complete, identified a number of structural weaknesses in the BAFTA's planning, escalation procedures, and crisis coordination arrangements. However, it did not find evidence of malicious intent on the part of those involved in delivering the event. We accept, in conclusion, in full, which can be read below. We apologize unreservedly to the Black community for whom the racist language used carries real pain, brutality, and trauma. To the disability community, including people with Tourette syndrome, for whom this incident had led to unfair judgment, stigma, and distress. And to all our members, guests, and at the ceremony, and those watching at home, what was supposed to be a moment of celebration was diminished and overshadowed, and we have written to those directly impacted that night to apologize. The review is clear that while this was not a failure of intent, BAFTA's planning and processes have not kept pace with its diversity and inclusion goals. We did not adequately anticipate or fully prepare for the impact of such an incident in a live event environment, and as a result, our duties of care to everyone at the ceremony and watched at home fell short. Work is already underway to address the specific areas of improvement recommended in the review to reduce the risk of this happening again, namely around accessibility and inclusion planning, culture and event communication, and command structure. First, we are improving escalation procedures and the chain of information sharing around our awards ceremony. Second, we are strengthening how we plan for and deliver access, inclusion, and support at our events to adopt a broader intersectional approach so that the needs and experiences of all are properly considered in advance. And third, we are addressing any internal cultural gaps or lack of knowledge that may prevent BAFTA from meeting its commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion all around the world. This work continues as a priority, with the executive team reporting regularly on progress against all actions to the board of trustees. We are determined to learn from what happened and to ensure inclusion and belonging for all is meaningful in practice as well as in principle.
Well, I'll say this. Who's going to apologize for this? This is from X. This is, this is not.
What?
Forget it. I was gonna share something, but apparently it doesn't exist. I've seen the movie. It's fantastic. We'll talk about it when it opens. It opens in
April.
Yeah, at the end of April.
End of
April. So what do you think about this? Look, I mean, how many apologies is enough? How many? I asked the question.
Well,
and the audience.
Well, in the environment of woke progressivism, you ask how many apologies is enough. The answer is not enough.
Never. There's never enough.
You
need to be in a constant state of apology and bow down, and that's it. It's like it's never enough. I mean,
in fact, white people should always be apologizing.
Within that statement, it would have been nice to say, look, to further understand this issue, we encourage all of you to see the movie I Swear. Not that they're promoting it, but you need to have some understanding of what this affliction is. So,
yeah, but the thing is, it was nominated for Best Picture. It was nominated for Best Actor. So everyone in that room had seen the movie.
Or no, should have seen it. Should have seen the movie.
Well, they should have seen it. Look,
yes, they should have seen it.
Okay, so this 3-step plan, let me read a part of it to tell you how effective this plan will be. We are addressing any internal cultural gaps or lack of knowledge that may prevent BAFTA from meeting its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, so this plan is 100% solid.
It's solid. Nothing will ever happen again, and the world is saved. Okay, let's go to some comments here to clear the air.
Okay. Andy likes movie channel. Andy likes stuff movie channel. Avatar 1 was popular due to the CGI upgrade, not the story. Also, the 3D effects in the first one were amazing. The Lone Wolf Club. Cameron wasted his best years with Avatar crap. English Batchers gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. Thank you.
Hey.
And from Nerdrotic, I can't remember a single moment from Avatar 3. I remember people having sex.
You and everyone else, Gary. I watched you last night. I love the
I remember that.
I like the Numer at night.
I remember that Chief Desk getting boned by the villain. Oliver Lavery Frog. I think Cameron was more interested in the tech than the story. I think that's absolutely true.
Yep.
And I think Lucas was that way with the prequels. Garth Knight returns. Segregate, and segregate more. That's their plan.
Yeah. All right. More. Sorry, Alan. I'm trying to make sure we don't have any hiccups.
The nerd far away. BAFTA needs to let it go. Jeez.
Yeah.
And then Seed 695. Step 1. Don't invite Tourette's syndrome people to the show. Step 2. Don't invite Tourette's syndrome people. Step 3. Don't invite Tourette's syndrome people. Is that the 3 steps?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Ololiuqueep. Hey, BAFTags. Why'd you bleep out all the other stuff and not that one unholy word?
Yeah, well, I think we know why. Controversy. That's for sure. So, okay. I need to. Do we have notes on the Save the Arclight Fights for Theaters story? I'm asking Lori.
Oh, sorry.
Do we have notes for that? Because I'm not going to do the story if we've not prepped it.
Other than the fact that I'm staring at it right now.
Do you have notes? I'm afraid to do another story we're not prepared to do.
Yes, we have notes.
Thanks, Lori. Hang on, I want to get this. I remember the protagonist almost killing his own son in Avatar 3. Yeah, that was a weird moment. Well, his kind of adopted son, but yes. Yeah, thank you for that. Thanks for the soup. All right, Alan. I don't know if you know this, but I am a fan of the Arclight Cinema. It is a theater chain that no longer exists. It no longer exists, but it was not just a movie theater. It was a culture in Los Angeles. The Arclight Cinema at the Cinerama Dome on Sunset Boulevard. The bar was a hangout. It was fantastic. I was a member. I'll show you this. Here, I still have my Arclight Cinemas drinking cup here. I still have a hat. I was a member of Arclight Cinemas. I still have my card. And when you went to the Dome, you hung out at the bar, you'd see celebs kind of hanging out there. I'd see Elijah Wood. I'd just see Dave Franco. You'd see just people hanging out. They went there to see the movies. They had a special entrance where celebs could come in. They'd often come in and introduce films at the Dome. Everyone who worked there was a movie fan. They were a huge fan of movies because you'd see like on their name tags, you'd see like Jeff had a name tag, but Jeff would say Eyes Wide Shut was my favorite movie. Maybe not that one, 2001: A Space Odyssey. All I'm saying is that it was a culture in Los Angeles. Well, check this out. There is an account called Save the Arclight, and the person who runs it, he's trying to save the Arclight.
Not dressed like that.
Well, but Saul Gonzalez says, over the weekend, I met up briefly with the preservation activist trying to save LA's Cinerama Dome from continued closure and possible demolition. He touched on the recent threat he's received from the owners. Listen in his own words.
Hi, I'm Ben Steinberg, and I'm the founder of the Save the Cinerama Dome and Save Your Cinema campaign. We're trying to convince the owners to reopen it because right now they've kept it abandoned for the last 6 years. So we're just trying to get their attention to reopen it. It's my favorite movie theater. And also, in my opinion, it's the best movie theater in the world. So I think having it reopen would be amazing to not just LA, but to everyone.
Tell me about your most recent attempt to bring attention to the Dome. What did you do?
My most recent attempt, we peacefully projected across the street photos of the owners and asking them to reopen it. And the family called the police on us, unfortunately, and told us to stop. So we had to stop right away. And now we're just trying to figure out how or if we can even continue the campaign to reopen it. Because at this moment, I kind of had to pause the campaign and figure out what to do next. My intention isn't to anger the owners. It's just to convince them to reopen it.
We've got a story here from the LA Times, Alan. We've got a couple stories we could go over, but give me the notes.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much mimics what he just said, but it talks about the campaign, grassroots campaign to reopen had been put on hold after police shut down the protest outside the theater. Film student Ben Steinberg had been leading a 5-year effort, which included petitions, public demonstrations, urging owners Decurion Corporation to reopen or lease the long-closed venue. During the latest protest, Steinberg projected images on the Dome, and the property owners intervened, calling it harassment. And then the Dome has been closed since 2020, the pandemic. There have been minor signs of possible redevelopment. No plans have been yet announced. And Steinberg had paused the campaign, but hopes to resume soon, framing the fight as a bigger than one theater, symbolizing concern over corporate control of historical cultural spaces and the future of moviegoing in Los Angeles.
Since, I'll tell you this, since the pandemic shutdown in 2020, we've lost almost 2,000 theaters.
Mm-hmm.
We are in danger of losing the movie theater experience. Okay. So here is, I encourage all of you, follow Savior Cinema on X. It's run by Ben Steinberg. He's been running this campaign relentlessly. It seems like he shut it down from legal threats, which is horrible. In fact, I invited Ben to award this back in January, hoping he'd show up. He was unable to show up, but I love his efforts. This is not just about one theater. It's about saving the experience. And I cannot describe to you what it was like. I didn't even need to talk to my friends. We all booked the first Thursday night screening for whatever movie was opening, big movie opening at the Dome. We would meet in the bar and I'd see, boom, there's my friend Charlie. There's my friend Mike. Here's my friend there. Hey, what are you guys doing? What time are you seeing the movie? Oh, I couldn't get it in the 7. I'm seeing the 9. Tell me how it is. Okay, cool. The whole bar was filled, and restaurant with cinephiles. You had an Arclight card, so you'd get points. You'd earn, like, on your birthday, they gave you free popcorn and a free movie ticket. It was a whole vibe. It was like a culture, and the Dome was the best theater that they owned. Now, I live in Pasadena, and I would drive to the Dome. That's how good it was. But there was an Arclight cinema near me in Pasadena. It's now a Regal at the Paseo Mall. And when the pandemic, when they announced the shutdown, LA shut down. You could not go to the Dome. All right. We had just done our second award this show. The shutdown happened. LA shut down. Pasadena did not. And on that, Pasadena or LA shut down over the weekend. Pasadena didn't. On that Monday, I went to see The Invisible Man. I sat in a theater by myself. I was completely alone. There you can see the top of my head at the theater. I mean, I picked my seat, but there I was. And if you recall, maybe I can zoom in on this. If you recall, this is how quick they set this stuff up. They set up a thing where you had to be socially distanced. It was so annoying. I have a picture of the sign here. Let me, here's some other. I took pictures on the last day that the Pasadena Arclight was open. Completely empty. Completely empty. I mean, it was so frustrating. This beautiful theater, and they brought it back as a Regal. It doesn't have like the same, but this was the last day it was open. It was eerie. It was like out of some horror film, like, or Walking Dead or something. This completely empty theater. It was shocking. Do you have any thoughts about that, Alan, during that time?
I mean, the Cinerama Dome is a historical landmark, in my opinion.
Yeah,
a lot of theater going technology advancements had been done there. I think Super CinemaScope came out of. I think the Cinerama Dome was the only one doing Super CinemaScope.
Yeah,
I mean, there's two issues here in reopening. A, movies got to get better. There has to be a revitalization in the movie industry. And the second is someone's got to clean up LA.
Someone's got to clean up LA because they're not coming back.
All the businesses surrounding the Cinerama Dome are closed.
Yes.
It was at the height of all the crap, the homelessness, the stuff that the city refused to take care of. That is, to me, that is probably the biggest reason why the theater is closed, because there's safety issues. Yeah, there's a parking structure you can go to, which is great, but you want to feel safe when you go to a movie theater, that you're not going to get harassed, and also other businesses in the areas need to, the theater needs to leech off of their customers as much as their customers need to leech off the Cinerama Dome. And I'll tell you, LA is not a place you want to start a business, let alone a restaurant or a fast food establishment. If I were opening a restaurant, I would never do it in LA at this time. It's the costs are prohibitive, which means you're going to charge prices people don't want to pay.
I mean, this was the last movie I saw in a theater before the pandemic. Then I started going to the drive-in, and I went every weekend. But yeah, these photos are from my experience on the last day that the Arclight Pasadena was open. The Regal just doesn't have the same feel. And when I look at these photos, it just makes me sad. It came up in my feed, and I don't remember the exact date, but man, it was horrible. It's horrible. So follow Savior Cinema, and we will do whatever we can to support Ben in his efforts. Thank you for that. Thank you for your efforts. One last thing, Alan, we're going to CinemaCon.
Yes.
And what are we doing at CinemaCon?
We are attending every single panel possible.
Yeah, well, let's look at
I'll
the
tell you,
schedule.
let's just say I'm more excited about going to CinemaCon than I am about San Diego Comic-Con.
Well, yeah, because we know we'll actually get into things.
Yeah.
We're actually gonna get into stuff, but let's actually look at the schedule of events. We want to let you know. So Sunday afternoon, we're doing a road stream just on the road. You know what to anticipate at CinemaCon. Sunday, we're just getting registered. No big deal, but they've got a huge lineup of events on, and we will be doing live streams more than likely twice a day about the panels we're seeing. So I know on Tuesday we're seeing like, this is interesting panel, understanding 2026 audiences, Gen Z and emerging trends. So we're gonna be covering all the studio presentations and what they'll be doing. So we're gonna see a lot of, we'll see on Tuesday, I believe, is Godzilla -0. And not everything that they show there leaks immediately online. There's a lot of things they show that don't go public. And we will see movies that we will be not able to talk about and review. You can go to cinemacon.com, look at the entire schedule of events.
Yeah, just for background and context, this is a convention for theater owners, for movie theater owners. And it's an attempt for the studios to basically get them hyped up about this year's films.
Yeah.
So they'll feel like they care about them.
So for example, Tuesday night, there's a presentation 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 from Warner Brothers. Will we get to see more Supergirl, Dune Part 3? What does Warner's have in store for next year, 2027? Then there's a poolside party, which I think Alan and I are both going to. We'll do a lot of stuff for members only. Members only. We'll take you inside a lot of things that would be hard for us to show on the show. But we'll be doing most likely late night. We're going to be doing things late night when I look at this, because we have no guarantee the internet will be decent when we're there. So
we'll do our best.
We will do our best, folks. So please be patient with us next week. No verses, no Hollywood on the Rocks. We are going to have to do a Friday show. We might do it. We'll let you know. We might have to reschedule that.
Maybe later in the morning.
Later in the morning, or maybe even the next day. We'll see. But this is your reminder to please just click that bell for notifications. Click that bell for notifications. Hey, we have a lot of movies to review, Alan.
Do you want to clear out comments first from?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. And also, I mentioned before we started the show that I've seen Faces of Death. I mentioned yesterday. I don't see it. Do we have a poster?
So while we're going through chats,
I'm going to rearrange these. You don't need me to do. Alan,
Oh,
do
you want?
want-
Okay.
Click on the thing that says comments.
Right, but I have
and
to
then
have
go from the
I have to have the
comments.
screen full screen so I can read them, but I'll give it a shot. No problem. Here we go. From Jean Hu, remember for 12 months, the Uptown Theater in DC, 1936 to 2020. Yeah. And guess what? People don't care. Politicians don't give a damn. That's why it's so easy for them to close this up. Pilgrim Media for 2. Tampa loves Film Threat. Have a great weekend. And we love
Thank
Tampa.
you, Pilgrim.
Let's see. Moving on. Tim is not funny. 2001 Space Odyssey and the Dome was life-changing. In fact, we saw Rise of Skywalker in the Dome as a Film Threat staff.
Yeah.
We also saw Avengers Endgame as a Film Threat staff at the Dome. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Yes.
Do you not have
Sam
StreamYard control? StreamYard?
No, because if I have to blow up the screen so I can read these, I have no control. So, Sam Spurgeon, what if you were just surrounded by invisible men? Yeah, you weren't alone in that theater.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yes. All right. MK Sod, Chris is filled with passion and vinegar and piss.
You're not wrong.
Mars Monkey Max, don't food trucks make more than fast food joints in California? You know who makes money serving food in California? Unlicensed street vendors.
Which also, by the way, they did tests of that food. It's awful. It's not refrigerated properly.
Nope.
It's not. It's like people get food poisoning all the time. I stopped buying those bacon wrapped hot dogs. They smell great. It's not worth $10 to feel sick the next day.
Well, it'll clean your colon out afterwards. But those are the food establishments that make the most money because they're unregulated. They're not taxed or fined. There's no licensing fee. You might as well open a restaurant now on the street and just move when the cops show up because the cops won't do anything.
Yeah.
They won't move you along. All right. Was that it for comments?
That's it for comments. Thank you very much. Hey, before we get to the boys, Alan, you saw Me and Tuscany, and I almost went to see that movie. It's a romantic comedy, kind of a return to a beloved genre. Let's say that. Romantic comedies are a staple for movie theaters. And you saw the film. Tell me about Me and Tuscany.
Yes. Dang it. Sorry.
Are you prepared today? I'm being really serious now. I know
Okay,
I'm
hold on.
joking around.
The first one. Okay, hold on.
You gotta be
first time
for the fucking show.
The first time I was told we weren't going to do that story, and so I was zero prepared for it because we weren't going to do the story. And then now I just need to pull up the IMDb page and we'll be fine.
See, I have all my stuff pulled up already. I did it last night, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait here while you prepare.
Okay,
I'm done. To do the show.
Okay, I'm ready.
That you knew you were going to do. Should
I'm
I play
ready.
some music?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I was vamping there, stalling because I could see you didn't have your shit together. Can we get the poster back up? All right, let's start this again. Take 2.
All right. Well, Me and Tuscany stars Halle Bailey as Anna. Her dream was to be a chef like her mother. By the way, guess what Anna doesn't have?
What?
A father. So it's her single mother. They were both chefs. She wanted to become a chef, but then her mother got sick. And that thwarted the plan. She was in culinary school, and before she could graduate, she had to tend to her mother as she passed away. And every time she stands by a stove, she thinks of her mother and realizes she can't cook anymore. So she spends her days house sitting, moving from one house to the next. And she likes to go to sit rich people's houses so that she could try on their clothes and feel glamorous for a day until she gets caught and then fired. So with very little money and a friend who who works at a hotel, who can't help her anymore. She decides that maybe she needs to follow her dream and use the ticket to Tuscany that her mother bought her before she died. Or they were supposed to go on a trip, that she's going to use that ticket and kind of do one last hurrah in Tuscany. Well, not really having a good plan, she happens to meet Mateo at the bar at the hotel her friend works at. And the two really hit it off. He invites her up to the hotel room, says that she should follow her passions, that she should go to his hometown of Tuscany. And when they fall asleep together, they didn't do it. He wakes up, he's gone, he's moving on, and leaves a note to her saying, "Follow your dreams." And she decides to pack things up and take a trip to Tuscany. And because there's a giant festival going on, there's no hotel rooms. So she sneaks in, breaks into Mateo's home, and decides to stay there since that's her last option. And in the morning, Mateo's mother and grandmother arrive. They think she's a thief. They're going to call the cops. But instead, they see that she had taken Mateo's engagement ring that was in one of his rooms, puts it on, and they think that they're engaged, that Mateo and Anna are engaged. And they're all excited. And it's like, so they're, she plays into it. They're planning this wedding. And then Mateo's best friend, Michael, who they have a falling out with, he just kind of is somewhat skeptical, but sparks start to fly. And things play out that way. I'll say this about You, Me and Tuscany. It's a pretty by the books rom-com.
Yeah, it looked that way from the trailer.
Yeah. When I was in my theater was pretty packed, and I swear the dumbest jokes, everyone was laughing at them. The theater was mostly women and their boyfriends and husbands. That's kind of what this is. Look, at the end, massive applause. People love this movie. Look, like I said, it's a fairly straightforward rom-com, which means it's predictable. You know what's going to happen. She's there under false pretenses. Guess what? She gets exposed. And then there's the best friend who she has feelings for. That's fine. Look, I'll say one more thing about this. This movie reminds me of the 80s and 90s. I don't know if you noticed, but our two leads here are black. And it reminds me of the 80s and 90s. Why? Because back then, TVs and movies starring black people were just normal stories. They were just people. Right. The Cosby Show, Family Matters, all those shows, it was just a black family. And they acted normal. And guess what? Here are two characters. They're black and they act normal. And nothing about race is ever really brought up. It's kind of brought up, but as a way to diffuse things. For example, at one point, let's see, Matthew and Anna, Matthew and Michael and Anna are kind of at odds at first when they first meet, much like a rom-com. And Anna says this. She says, considering that you and I are the only, and then Michael responds, the only people speaking English. And that's kind of how they resolve the whole black thing. That's the tone of race being brought into this movie.
That's actually funny. That's
funny. And it's honestly, it's never brought up ever again in terms of race. Sure, she's black, she has black culture, but it's not the movie. It's about two people falling in love, which is, look, the final verdict is, it's an above average rom-com, but it's still a rom-com. So I will give it a recommendation only if you have a wife or a girlfriend or someone you want to impress. It's well done, and it's not going to infuriate you at any point in terms of modernity.
So do you recommend it?
Yeah, I recommend it.
I guess I'm going to end up seeing it. I thought I successfully avoided it.
It's it's by the books and it's good.
Well, that's good to hear. We need, this isn't $100 million movie. It's not gonna blow up the charts, but I predict this movie will be more profitable than Supergirl.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Let's go to comments. Quick comments.
Yes. From Jeff Romatics, member for 27 months. You argue like Fred and Ethel.
Yes, we do.
Lee Kindler for $4.99. Chris and Alan are my favorite old married couple.
Yeah. And by the way, I have to point out the Exit 8, like, we need to go over before the show. What are we doing? What news stories do we not need? There were way too many news stories. There are news stories I didn't do. Like, there are things I know I'm passionate about. I don't give a fuck who the biggest star is if it's Zendaya. That's a stupid story. I don't want that. Talk to me if you're going to add stories or take them away or not put all the banners in. It fucks me trying to run the show. There's your old married couple for you. I want to talk about what the show we're about to do before the show. And by the way, Alan, if I could, like, I'll share a screen here. I've got like all the movies we're going to review. I've got like notes for them. I did that yesterday. My computer, I got the tabs. I'm all good. And the message here is prep for the show. Double check the prep. That's what before you should have prepped. And then before the show, we double check the prep. Do we need 12 news stories? No, we need 6 or less. We need about 6. Wait, did you read that?
No, you were talking.
Okay, read this one.
Read that one. Uncle
Sorry.
Remus went out for milk and never came home. Sad.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah. I mean, single mother. Come on. Daniel Thornton. How does she get to Tuscany if she doesn't have her mother? The mother and daughter were planning a trip to Tuscany before she died. And so the plane tickets were already purchased.
Yeah. How does she get to Tuscany if she doesn't have money or an ID? How does she get on the plane?
I know. How
did they resolve
did
that?
She figure it out? Well, yeah. Did she figure out how to get an ID? That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Alan, for your review. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's talk about The Boys season 5, episodes 1 and 2, which just dropped on Amazon. And I feel like I have a weird relationship with this show. I absolutely love the characters. That first episode of season 1 of The Boys, where we are introduced to Huey, A-Train, Homelander, Queen Maeve, among other characters. I just fell in love with that world. It's a world that you see these superheroes that are beloved. They're not who they claim to be. It's almost like celebrities or politicians are the same, which I think is more of what the show makes commentary on. As the seasons went on and we saw the battle with Carl Urban as Butcher, kind of rallying the boys with Frenchie and Mother's Milk. They're trying to defeat the Soups. The show increasingly became a platform to just rail on the right and conservatives. On occasion, the show would kind of make fun of the left, but not as much. Well, I'll say I've stuck with the show for one reason only. I love the characters. I love these characters. Huey in particular, very relatable. I just love the character. And Homelander is an amazing villain. He's fantastic. Now, changes with the live action show has taken it off the rails from what was to end up being the comic book accurate version of the story. We're way off the rails now. It is driving toward a conclusion. This is now the final season. The band is back together. We meet Huey, Frenchie, and Mother's Milk. They're in a freedom camp where they have, the outfits are actually really cool. They've got these like Star Spangled Banner, like red, white, blue, like pants, a shirt with Homelander's face on it, in this like camp for all the Starlighters, which are basically the resistance or the Antifa of this world. The president is now kind of a puppet for Homelander, who's running things. And the plot of this season is driven around, we've got to kill Homelander. How do we do it? We've developed a serum that can kill soups. I'm not gonna give away any spoilers for the first 2 episodes, but I'll just say, yeah, it's you have to kind of almost get over the fact that this takes a lot of shots at not just the religious right. In spite of that, I want to see the conclusion. I want to see where the characters go. But this is what, having watched the show now through, beginning the 5 seasons, what I've come to realize is the show will make fun of the left. The left has no sense of humor about itself. You can't critique. The left can't take a joke. The right is strong enough to be able to take a joke, I would hope. And this season, it definitely goes hard with like clearly Antifa and ICE analogies. The show is best when it's not doing that. It's kind of a distraction when it focuses on Butcher's mission to take out Homelander to get this serum and kill the soups. So episode 1 is really getting the boys back together, breaking them out of the camp with the help of Starlight. And then also the second episode deals with testing this serum. We're going to see, because the possibility of this serum, if they use it in a certain way, it might either kill all the soups, it might also kill all of humanity, may also be affected by this. So it might kill everyone on Earth. That's how powerful this serum is. They need to test it. So they find this, I'm not sure if I have the character's name right, Rockhard, who's like in Ohio they're like this small teen super team. Rockhard is kind of like the Thing, and they see him. He's like a giant thing of granite that's alive, and he looks like a volcano, and they're going to test the serum on him. They have to grab him and bring him to a location where they can safely test the serum, except he's gotten so large, he can't move. Like someone bedridden from being, from someone from My 600-Pound Life. So they have to find a way to test the serum and do it safely so they don't unleash the serum on the rest of the world. Of course, who has the serum? Huey. Carrying this vial that if he drops it might kill all of humanity on Earth and the soups. It's great. Like when it focuses on the characters, the show is really good. The social commentary is a distraction because it's so present day. So it's one of those things where if I'm going to enjoy watching it, I have to ignore that. It's almost impossible to ignore. And they've really gone, Homelander is like full Trump at this point. And everything is, this is ICE, this is detention camps. But when it gets into the action scene at the end of episode 2 is great. It's a great sort of mix of action, comedy, ridiculous powers. So, it's a mixed bag. I'm going to see it through to the end. But there are a lot of people that have checked out because of the politics. But here's what I would say to those people. I would say the right can take a joke and the left cannot. And that's why this show is so soft on the left. Think of it as a compliment. We can take, people on the right, conservatives, can take a joke. Others, maybe they can't. And you know what? That might be true in real life. Alan, you've had experiences with your friends.
Yeah.
Maybe you can speak to that.
Well, I mean, I'll say I did like the first season of The Boys. It said,
I think everybody pretty much universally enjoyed it.
Yeah, but it just like at the third season, it was crystal clear to me that Homelander is Trump. I mean, not just implied, he is Trump. That's what this and you know, to your point, I'm just not into shows where I know the creators hate you or hate half of America. And it's like, well, why, you know, yeah, sure, he might have something good to say once in a while or make a joke, a self-deprecating joke politically. But it was just like so on the nose. And can I mention the amount of penises that are seen in the show?
Yes,
there are way too many penises in the show.
Yeah, I agree.
Penis to boob ratio is off the charts. You know, look, I don't, you know, if I want to say penis, I grab a magnifying glass and look at my own. But you know, but it's like this is just this show just went out of control for me, and I just can't. I just had to stop. I haven't even seen the last 2 seasons, not even a single episode.
Well, it was season 1 where I fell in love with these characters and the whole premise.
Well, to me, it was the ideas behind it in terms of superheroes. You know, what if superheroes became popular? You know, went to the other extreme. You know, whether it wasn't about truth, justice, and the American way, but it was about power and fame. Those are great ideas to explore. And it did it well in that first season, and then it just became politics.
It just annoys me. There's so much from the left that they could have criticized because, truthfully, it's sort of flipped. Like the left owns the news, the mainstream media, like kind of everything. Like the resistance really in this country is conservatives and the right, and even mainstream conservatives are pretty much just in bed with the left. When you look at how Congress votes, they almost get nothing done. I mean, that's a whole other conversation, but I wish I could cut out some stuff and just focus on the characters. That's when the show is at its best. I really love Homelander as a villain. You know, I kind of love him.
Yeah. But when you know he's intentionally manipulated to be Trump, that's where I have the issues. Well, you know, they could have kept it a generalized fascist, but instead they went directly with the direct comparisons.
That's what's frustrating. There's so much on the left that you could criticize, so much. But the way I see the soups is they're like politicians and celebrities. Every politician you see, every celeb you see, they're all scumbags in real life. Yeah. Sociopaths. Look at our own governor, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
That guy.
And the fact that this show would treat him as the real superhero. You know, if you're going to design a real good character, you would they would have designed it after Gavin Newsom.
Well, no, but look, I love it for the characters, hate it for the politics. I understand people that have checked out. I will see it through to the end because I just want to see
the closure.
And I will say this on a final thing, this does feel like an ending. Like major characters are reaching an end to their story. Let's say it in a very vague way. And there you are. Now, can I recommend it? Only for people like me that fell in love with the characters. If you're checked out, I understand. Okay, if you're checked out, I get it. It's all good. When the show is focused on the characters, that's when it's at its best. When it focuses on social commentary, you're losing audience. Let's go to comments. I'm sure people are roasting me.
Yeah, probably. Nasokavi for 5. Hey guys, just wanted a new Malcolm reboot and
watched.
Just watch.
You got your screen big.
I do.
Okay, start from the beginning.
All right, here we go. Naso Kashev for 5. Hey guys, just watched the new Malcolm reboot, and he has a daughter, which is the main hero, and new non-binary siblings. I want to see your shocked face.
Yeah, I saw the teaser for that. Not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I never watched the original. So
my kids watched the original, loved it.
Foolish American for 2. Why Starlight have such big rips and face?
Yeah, here it is. Look at this. This is distracting.
That's her.
That's what she looks like now. This is what she used to look like. Beautiful young woman. Weird. She looks like she aged 20 years.
She was on, I think it was the Michael Rosenbaum podcast, and she had been suffering from an autoimmune disease for the last 2 years. And so she's been going through it in terms of her health.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, I don't think it increased her boob size, but it did a number on her. English batchers in the UK, you go to prison for memes now IRL, like how they say the right will do to you. Facts.
True.
Yeah. Dark Knight Returns, rock hard. That's an adult film star's name needing to happen.
Yeah, they make a joke about that.
The Copacetic Lounge. The best thing about The Boys is Homelander, but I stopped watching it after season 2 because it's all about fake exploding heads with CGI, which, by the way, what the fuck? It's so lame.
That's fun. That's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. We still have 4 things to review. Let's talk about the Yeti. The Yeti is in limited release at AMC theaters. It's kind of an old school horror film. I wouldn't even call it a horror film. It's a monster movie about a Yeti and, oddly, a baby Yeti. Some explorers, they capture, they go on this mission. And by the way, it's set in the 40s. And the movie stars Corbin Burnson and William Sadler are the 2 biggest names in this movie. And what I can say about it is it's very by the numbers, like monster film, where you barely see the monster, which actually, to its credit, is a good thing. It actually adds to the sense of fear. But it's this movie set in the 1940s. You've got like these very strong female characters that are acting totally modern. It's totally out of place. The main character being Ellie, who's out there. She's a person who deals with maps. She's a map expert. And you've got other people that are your different expert, your explosion expert, your communications expert. You've got ex-World War II veterans on this mission to save these people in a cabin that went missing. And things go awry. I mean, I saw this movie. I barely remember it, the story. It reminds me of movies I watched as a kid where, like it would bother me that they didn't show enough of the monster. I think it ended up being a good thing in the long run, which added to the terror. And at an hour and 33 minutes, it just felt way too long. And one of the biggest flaws, well, the 2 biggest flaws of the movie, one, the girl bossery felt so modern day. Like, it's like, this is not, I mean, it seemed really out of place. Really out of place. I don't mind like a woman being, kind of the focus of a horror film. That's like a horror film trope, right? The final girl, which you can see where things lead. The final girl. I don't mind that. But my God, this really leaned into modernity, which kind of ruined it. The second thing was, it looked like the entire movie was shot in medium shots and close-ups. Why? They shot it on a soundstage with a big winter storm. with fake snow. There's a scene where Ellie's like on the ground and in the snow and struggling, and it's clearly like, what do they spray paint cornflakes? That's how they make it. I mean, there were aspects, I can see what they were going for. A classic horror film from the 50s. But what they should have done is made it black and white. That actually would have added to it. You know, the actors are fine. The score, I thought, really added to it. But at the end of the day, I was really disappointed. It shows you why you can't recapture that era, because it was really going for old school 1950s horror, and it just missed the mark for me, so I can't recommend the Yeti. But, you know, I don't know. If you like those old school horror films, check it out. Let's go to comments, if there are any.
Feels like a lot of work has to go into making something feel old.
Yeah.
A lot of unnecessary work. Razorburn, Chris, is Yukon Cornelius in the movie?
He should have been. Thanks, Razorburn. Good to see you.
KG Jung, the girl boss was worse than the monster.
The monster was good. They just didn't show enough.
That's the beauty of fiction. You can write girl boss roles.
Hey, here's another horror film that I saw. It's currently playing in theaters, just opened this weekend. Hunting Matthew Nichols is that's the wrong poster.
That's Faces of Death.
All right, I'm going to get coffee while you guys get your shit together, okay? Oh, no.
Right.
Okay, all right. Is there something wrong with the show today? Like, what happened? Like, I think let's do a half hour of show prep, and let's actually talk show prep. Let's do that. All right. Hunting Matthew Nichols is a found footage horror film that's released in theaters. It doesn't star anyone you would know. It's kind of going for a Blair Witch aesthetic. A young woman is trying to find her brother who disappeared years ago. It's described as a horror mystery. And Tara's brother, Matthew, has disappeared. Hence the title, Matthew Nichols. He had interest in the occult and strange happenings in the woods. He and a friend years ago went off to the woods and no trace of them found. His sister hooks up with an indie filmmaker who's gonna follow her journey to reunite and find her brother. And it's, you know, while the Blair Witch Project, you see like the found footage is from the point of view of following everyone as it happens in real time, this is presented as a documentary. So they interview the police, they show clips of her brother and his friend disappearing in the woods. The last footage of them as they left school, went down a street, and then never to be seen. They were going to a cabin. They follow clues. So it's kind of a documentary film crew making a doc, and then it evolves into the found footage of Tara and the filmmakers going and following her brother's path. Ambitious, seen it before. This movie, it's weird because I see the date is 2024, but it's just coming to theaters in 2026. So maybe it was on the shelf for a while. I don't know. But I will say it's kind of by the numbers, seen it before. Except for the ending. The ending, I can tell the filmmakers were fans of the Blair Witch Project, like a fan of that movie, and they're trying to recreate it. Failing in the beginning, the ending of the movie has kind of a really good payoff, is what I'll say. Like a creepy payoff I did not see coming. Not going to say what it is. but I feel like they were it's almost like the filmmakers were a fan of Blair Witch and like, can we like just do that movie, but just do a better ending? What are the criticisms of the Blair Witch was that ending kind of ends and it's mysterious and creepy, but you're not really clear what happened, which I think is part of its, part of its effectiveness. But this thing tries to outdo Blair Witch. The only thing it succeeds in is an ending that might have been better for Blair Witch. That still doesn't save it for me. I can't recommend Hunting Matthew Nichols.
Is this the one where the trailer looks like it's an actual documentary?
Yeah, it is.
Does that play out well, or I mean,
no? It starts out as like a documentary. They're doing it kind of doc style,
right?
And then it gets toward the middle and just follows Tara.
It becomes a movie, a narrative movie. It
becomes a movie,
okay,
where they're just looking at footage and you're seeing the footage as it evolves. So the ending was like almost redeemed it for me. But the sort of tired nature, I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Let's go to comments, if any.
Yeah. Although I will say it was almost a good trailer.
Yeah, this show was off today.
Yeah. Fresh Snow. There's a glitch in the film threat matrix.
Thanks, Fresh Snow.
Texafire, Hunting Matthew Nichols was a fun watch. Slow burn for sure, but the ending was worth it. Blair Witch style work.
I thought the ending was great, Texafire. Ending was great.
Tim's Not Funny aspires to be Blair Witch for the true crime generation, but didn't sell me on the realism. Some performances were way too showy and unnatural, but it had some of the thrills by the end. Solid found footage. I will say, when I saw the trailer, the first half of it felt like it was an actual documentary. And then you started noticing that the subjects of the documentary started to act. And that's where it was kind of the tip off. No, this is not a real documentary.
Hey, Alan, let's talk about a movie you and I have both seen.
Yes.
Exit 8. This is based on a video game of the same name. Tell me about Exit 8, Alan.
Okay. A guy is on the subway in Japan. He's talking to his girlfriend who's pregnant. He also notices over on the side that there's a baby crying and a man screaming at the baby. The man then gets off of the subway, walks up the platform, and then what we find out is he's walking through an endless loop of hallways, and that the only way to get out is to solve a puzzle. And that's the story of Exit 8.
In a nutshell, this is one of the creepiest horror films, most effective I've ever seen. The attention to detail is astounding. There are no character names in this. He's literally the man. And then there is I think it's called the Walking Man.
Yeah, the Walking Man.
The Walking Man that he keeps passing. There's a long shot that opens the movie that lasts it feels like half an hour. And I know that, for example, I saw a screening with the director and he talked about how he made it. They had 2 versions of the hallway that looped and people would actually get lost in it. And how they did the effect of the Walking Man, that was not computer. That Walking Man had to walk down a hallway, take a bicycle, and ride it all the way around to go to reset and walk by again. And the way he walks like an NPC in a video game, non-playable character.
You're saying that these one-shots were actual one-shots?
One-shots. It was not done with computer.
Oh my gosh.
They had 2 versions of the hallway that were endless, and the crew kept getting lost in it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, so the way they did this, they just did it. They just did those long takes. So it's so good. I mean, there are clearly cuts in some parts. You see there will be, and there are ways to mask it.
Yeah.
But my God, this movie is all about the tone, the audio, the sound design for it is so good. And this theme, it kind of sets up this theme of children, you know, and you fail to mention that the woman he gets a call from is his ex-girlfriend. They broke up, but she's pregnant with his baby and she's at the hospital. And then he loses the signal. They're trying to have a conversation of what do they do? Do they have the baby or do they abort the baby?
Not have the baby.
That becomes a thread. And then babies and life and weird images. There's these weird images of rats that like grow a new ear for people. Like, I don't want to, like, the point is this, everything is intentional. He's scrolling through his phone in the beginning. Those images recur in ways. And the attention to detail. When I saw this at a screening, every seat was full. You could hear a pin drop. This silence of the echoey, like, hallway and getting lost in the hallway. And if you see an anomaly, turn the other way if there are anomalies. So he's starting to look at every single detail. Is there any anomaly? He meets a young child who points out that the number 8 down the hallway they're going down is upside down. The number 8, right? It's just slightly, it's upside. So you start questioning yourself as you're watching it, experiencing it through this guy's eyes where he's like, what is going on? And the story shifts between some of these characters, the walking man, the man who has this dilemma and he loses signal. So he's in this intense conversation with an ex-girlfriend and just it cuts out. So it's like that drama's hanging. I loved this film. I have not played the game, although it is on, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, it's free. You can download it and play it. And I plan to check it out. I love this film. Not your typical horror film. Strong recommend for the tone. And this is how we're seeing more and more video game movies that are more faithful to the story material. So I loved it. I thought it was
gameplay
great.
itself, even.
Yeah, I don't know what you thought, but I strongly recommend. You're going to be creeped out for 90 minutes.
Yeah, feel the same way. Highly recommend this movie. The opening sequence it's a one shot and it's pretty amazing in terms of how it's pulled off and how you are introduced to this world. The other thing that I like about it, and we talk about this all the time with sci-fi, but sci-fi is more than just, robots in space or, just the tropes of the genre. Sci-fi is about exploring humanity, exploring some aspect of humanity and leaning into it and exploiting it to one's detriment. And this movie is that. There are reasons these people are in this endless loop of hallways. And once you discover what the reason is, then you realize when the ending happens, you go, oh, okay. Now I get it. And it's like, this is a very sci-fi ending too, which means everything's wrapped up and everyone goes home hunky dory. It's just one of those things where it happens and then you're thinking to yourself, wow, what just happened? And then you just kind of back up and start thinking about it. And then you realize just, the message it has about this main character, the man, I just found fascinating because that's where this sci-fi story kind of hinges around who the man is and what his inherent flaw is as a person. And this thing just plays right into it. One thing you didn't mention was this whole thing is like a puzzle where there are 8 levels. And if you don't catch the anomaly, you get reset to 0.
Yeah.
And you start to realize, that some of these people have been here for a long time, constantly being reset to 0. And then it's the rules of the game. How do you play to get to the next level, and then the choices you make. It's just such a well-written story in terms of a mystery, in terms of sci-fi, in terms of what it says about being a person and a human being. That's what I want in movies that engage me in an intellectual thought or an emotional idea, and then play it out in a very authentic way where we're experiencing the choices being made as opposed to being lectured as to why we're bad people.
Right.
Highly recommend it, especially if you are into what Star Trek used to be. They used to just be tales of humanity. That's what this is. It's an hour and a half tale of humanity, or 2 hour tale of humanity.
Yeah, I think strong recommend from both of us. Let's go to comments.
I like how the good movies so far this year are not coming from studios, except for Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, none of them.
Okay. Shane the Liver. I can't imagine it compares to the game. Still looks interesting though. I mean, not having ever seen or played the game, I can see the video game elements of it.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Sorry, Alan. Today was going to be a short show. Remember, we're saying short show.
We never do short shows. Roxanne Stein, spoiler, the man.
We if we prep, we can, because then we don't do news stories. We don't have mistakes.
Yeah. It's almost as if we should, for the show, go down the list of all the stories.
Yeah.
We choose the ones that we're gonna do.
Yeah. And the ones that
Roxanne Stein, spoiler, the man trying to escape the subway underground is really a metaphor for the baby being born.
Well, we shouldn't have shown that. We should not have shown that. Please, if someone says spoiler in a comment, maybe don't show the comments.
But I don't think it's exactly that either. David B, unless it's in the game. David B, that logo is. Yeah.
Go ahead.
David B, the logo is an infinite loop. 8 sideways is the infinity symbol.
We've done 1,100 shows.
I know, amazing, huh?
And the fact that there are this many fuck ups, you know what? This is good. All the fuck ups will be on one show. Next week will go perfect.
Yeah. Well, they say you got to do 10,000.
we're like 10% of the way there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So we're only a 10th of the way there. Of course, there's still going to be mistakes. Wait till we get to the 900th show, or the 9,000th show. Won't be perfect, but it'll be close to it.
I love working with Alan. when he is on, like I have to stop because I like just sit there and listen. So I'm like, I like to listen to this guy talk about movies. But I expect a little bit more on the prep side. So we'll do that. This is every problem we have is a new problem, and then we fix it.
Yeah.
I look forward.
Sometimes we have to change things in order to make things run smoother. And sometimes when you change it, it creates a butterfly effect. It changes other things.
Fuck ups keep you humble from West Reviews. It's all right. It's, it's just YouTube.
Clearly, we're not the most overproduced show. I mean,
wait, someone keeps texting me during the show.
Tyler, stop.
God. Hang on.
Hey, you know what I do with my phone during the show?
It's not my phone.
What do you mean texting? You just said someone's texting you during the show.
Okay. Hey, I saw a trailer in theaters and I was not looking forward to this movie. Faces of Death is an old VHS tape from when I worked at a video store. It was a series. I believe the series went up to, at least from what I recall, up to part 3, Faces of Death part 3, a series of tapes with both faked and recreations of horrible deaths, along with real footage of deaths. And this movie is actually based on that old videotape. Barbie Ferreira plays a young woman who works at a company that puts up videos. It's kind of like TikTok, but for shocking videos. And she works at this company, and oddly, she has a dark past. What's the dark past? Well, she was actually in one of these videos. She is known as Train Girl. Why is she called Train Girl? Well, her sister died tragically when they were doing a TikTok dance in front of an oncoming train. She works at this company, and she's grown numb to the sex, violence, horrible things that she sees. She thinks one of these videos might not be fake, might actually be a real recreation of a death. And what she comes to discover is someone is recreating scenes out of Faces of Death with real people. And she's on the hunt to track down the killer. Charlie XCX plays a young woman who's a famous TikToker who gets kidnapped by the killer, who works at a mobile phone company, a wireless company, where he's able somehow to go in and track down exactly who people are and get their info, private info and addresses. He tracks down people that are influencers on social media. And in one case, a guy, and you'll love this, Alan, one guy is an Asian man. So we've got some diversity here. An Asian man who is a newsreader. He's a TV host who reads the news. He kidnaps people and forces them to appear in these reenactments that he uploads to this company that puts out these videos. Her character goes on the hunt to find this killer. And I have to give this film credit for a couple of reasons. I've seen a lot of horror films this year, almost every horror film that's come out I've seen. And most of these movies, for the most part, they focus on things like masked killers, The Strangers, Chapter 3, like all these, like, it's a killer, but in a creepy mask. In this movie, we actually see the killer does wear a creepy mask, but he's actually a character. He takes off the mask. We learn he's completely insane. He actually is, there's a method to his madness, which makes him even more haunting. And the killer is actually going to go after Margot herself. She has this roommate who's into horror films, and he actually has the VHS tape of Faces of Death. Now, I did not want to go see this movie. I saw the trailer. I was like, this might go too far even for me. In the screening I was at, I was surprised. It was packed. 5 people walked out. People were walking out of this movie. I mean, it's I've seen a lot of gory horror films. The thing that makes this different is the gore. Some of the like gore videos you see are real. They're based on real things. Now, they don't go too far. But what this movie is really commenting on is our thirst for attention and social media. There's a line near the end that the whole audience burst out laughing because it's like a very meta thing about this kind of attention that people seek. It's got great social commentary on the current narcissistic state of social media, wrapped in like horror film lore, and it's even commenting on reboots and sequels. I loved it, did not expect to love it. Not going to be for everybody. This movie is not going to be for everybody. But if you love horror and you like a little, like horror when it's at its best, comments on what's in the culture, but never preaches. And this movie does that. It's even comments on horror films themselves. Did not expect to love it. And Barbie Ferreira is, she's in an upcoming movie. We saw her in Bob Trevino likes it. I guess she's in Euphoria. I don't watch that show, but was surprised that I really liked Faces of Death, and I recommend it, along with Exit 8 if you're going to the movies this weekend. Let's go to comments.
I'm not seeing that movie.
You got some comments.
All right. Richard Dower. You're not Siskel and Ebert, you're Bert and Ernie. Who will be doing the pigeon first?
Thank you, Richard. Appreciate you.
West Reviews. What is gorier than the last couple Terrifier
movies?
movies?
Was it gorier?
Oh, than the last couple Terrifier movies? Was it?
No, but more shocking. Terrifier almost has comedic elements with Art the Clown. This movie, it because it's real, because she works at this company that she is basically the person that is rating or discarding the videos that go live.
I saw half of the second Terrifier movie, and I could not continue. Faces of Death is a must-see. Dacre Montgomery gives a Christian Bale American Psycho level performance. Good use of meta trope of today's internet and use of the original Faces of Death was great.
Texifier, I agree with everything you said. Yeah, I should have mentioned, I just like seeing a character that's not in a mask. We actually get to see the killer and how, what the killer's just, it's more creepy. I mean, it's definitely Silence of the Lambs, American Psycho. Like, the killer has a face. And it worked. Hey, want to thank everyone today who kept watching live, rolling with the punches on a show that was completely messed up.
Completely.
Thanks to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, ADL is 24, Ololique on Rumble. Thanks to Alan for rolling with it. Alan just going, well, it's going to be one of those.
I know. It's like you can do no right.
Well, I like when you do your reviews.
Mm-hmm.
When you're actually in a review and you're excited about it, like, you're great. But when you don't have your notes up or aren't prepared.
Well, I had notes,
great.
But again, I chose to do it a different way and it didn't work.
Is this, I mean, maybe this is all because I've been on a tear, really obsessed with stuff. Is this because of your recent trip to outer space?
Hey everybody, it's me, Alan. We're, like I said, if you read the thing, we're testing the Starlink, making sure that we can do a feed for our trip to CinemaCon in Vegas. Because last year we tried to do a live stream, and over at CinemaCon, basically once we got out of Barstow, there was no signal. Or the signal was so bad. So Starlink.
Yeah, you tried driving and vamping at the same time.
And forever, who are people still? If people are still watching here, we have a sponsor for Oddly a Video Game. That let's show it. Here's my problem with modern sci-fi. It always cuts to black right when I start caring. Project Hail Mary, great. Humanity survives. Science wins. And then we're done. No, I want to stay in that universe. Drop me in a random star system. Low fuel, no plan. Let me figure it out. That's why Foundation Galactic Frontiers is interesting. Yes, that Foundation. Isaac Asimov, the guy who basically wrote the playbook Hollywood keeps borrowing. You're not the hero. No chosen one nonsense. You're a traitor. You explore, make deals, pick fights you probably shouldn't, and live with it. Meanwhile, you're running your ship, building it piece by piece, managing crew, resources, basically trying not to suffocate in deep space. Always a plus. And when things go south, they really go south. Ship combat, ground combat, because space wasn't dangerous enough already. What I like is the scale. You feel small. The universe feels huge, and no one's coming to save you. That's sci-fi. check the link in the description or scan the QR code to download it. Mobile, PC, your choice. You'll get a free hero and battleship to start and use my code for extra resources. Because trust me, you're going to need the help. Movies end. This is where the story keeps going. I'm downloading it. I'm downloading it now. I actually played that so I could download it. I played that trailer. So there you go. So next week is going to be a weird week for us. So please just,
hit that bell for notifications.
Yes. Alan, are you going to read it?
Yes, Bruce Leroy Jenkins for 5. Reminder not to leave your merch and cash in the car at CinemaCon. Gong me. Shall we go through this one again?
What's that?
Never mind.
All right. Hey, have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you on Sunday. CinemaCon is all next week. Take care, everyone. Alan.
Let's get out of here.